When you are reading a paper, what is the first thing you read? Of course, after reading the title, the results, the discussion, the abstract, no, the last paragraph of the introduction. Well, the last two paragraphs. Fine. It usually starts like this. The purpose of the study, the aims of the study, we hypothesized, we studied, and so on and so forth. And here is why you should read that first. Think of your introduction as a flying plane, and think of that paragraph as the place where the plane landed. If you read that paragraph, then you know how and where the plane landed. It's a huge spoiler. And that spoiler will create a little frame in your mind so that when you go back to the introduction and read, everything is clear. By then, you will know the author's positions, their hypotheses, and their ideas. You know the names of the variables, you know what the authors expect to find in these variables, how they relate to each other, if there is a group. You know a lot of information that will become useful when you read the whole introduction. So now when you read your whole introduction, it means that your job is not going to be to sit down as a passive reader and be wowed by all the things you find, but to understand the author's perspective and how the authors are trying to put their arguments together so that this plane lands where it landed, which is something you already know. The interesting thing is by knowing this information and knowing the purpose of the study, there is so much you can predict about what's coming next, what comes in the method section. So it's actually the best spot on the theater. Like, you know what happened before in the introduction and you can see what's going to happen later on in the method section, and then you can create your whole picture in your mind before trying to read the whole thing. Of course, there are other places where you can find this information. Sometimes authors include it in the abstract, sometimes they include it in the first paragraph of this discussion session, but the most reliable part is the introduction right at the end, right before the method section. So now go get an empirical paper and read the paper this way and let me know how it goes. If you find this useful, please share it with your contacts.